Good afternoon, dear air trade world community. I'm pretty glad to come back with you again. And in the segment of conversations with subject matter experts, today we have Wael Breich. Wael is master business analytics, dedicated mostly on the entertainment industry in US. And as I've been speaking with Wall as principal of advanced analytics in all this technological arena, we are very glad to have you here. Wall, thank you very much to dedicate these minutes to the Airtrade World audience.
Sure. Happy to be here. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Well, let's start with this audience. And first of all, I would like to ask Wall to tell us about him a little bit on his experience and why this business analytics environment trapped you since the very beginning.
Sure. So again, thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here and talking to the whole air trade community. So basically, it all started back from undergrad. My background is in civil engineering and the construction industry, but as soon as I started my professional career, uh, I was working more on the data side. So collecting data, analyzing some data, like looking at trends on the different projects. And then I went into project management and risk management. I started working more with a bit more advanced data analytics tools like the Monte Carlo analysis, simulations, and all that stuff. And that's when I realized that I'm really I had this passion for analytics and data. So I started looking for more ways to implement it. And then I decided to take my journey further and do my graduate studies. I came to the US, finished school here, and directly started working some training in consulting and directly started working in advanced analytics in the entertainment industry.
Very good. Well, sounds very interesting. And now going to the analytics point. So why that change? Why drove you to switch from what originally you were doing to this business analytics environment?
Yeah.
What drove you to go there?
Yeah, I guess so. First of all, I'm very interested in the impact of data on the business world in general. So I just developed this passion throughout my career, and I'm still like learning. I'm still like I feel like my passion is growing by the day for data and analytics. Um, what made me switch is that I was somehow like partially working with data before, but it was on projects limited to construction and engineering. And I felt like I could do much more impact on a business in general, like on a whole like company level or industry level. And that was like the main trigger that made me switch, that made me want to switch.
And seems like it really trapped you, right?
Oh yes, it did.
And tell us more about business analytics. What is the usage of this? What is the impact? What is needed in terms of knowledge to be an expert like you are in business analytics?
Well, the thing is, so when we say analytics, it's an umbrella with a lot of like subcategories under it, and so I would like the way I'd like to see it is like data science and analytics, which includes the data science, the data analysis, the data engineering, all that stuff. Everything is under the same umbrella. So you could do a lot of stuff with analytics and data in general. There are basically four different subcategories for analytics, which are like the diagnostic, the descriptive, the prescriptive, and the last one is, let me see that I forget something. Prescriptive, yeah. Prescriptive,
Yeah.
descriptive, diagnostic, and predictive analytics. So it can be used to diagnose business problems. It can be
Mm-hmm.
used to describe a problem or a trend that's happening. It can be
Mm-hmm.
used to prescribe a medication. So imagine that you're going to a doctor and you get the
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis and then you get the prescription. So it's the same thing in analytics. They say data is the new oil in our field, in the tech field, and once you have the right tools to work with the oil, you can build so much. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
data. Once you have the right tools, once you build the right acumen and the right skill set, you can
Mm-hmm.
achieve so much with data.
So I've been hearing a lot in the aerospace industry regarding the big data and how complex is to to manage all this data in order to predict even what will be the next step of the aviation or the aerospace. So I would like to think that to analyze all this data prior to manage all the volume of data and then to have a universe of data, a universe of concepts, and then using business analytics is how to dissect or to understand that accumulated information or accumulated data. Is that true?
Well, there are many different ways in which you can actually like collect the data. And again, they say that most of the data that we have available right now is still not analyzed. So uh, after you like there's a lot of like power and a lot of potential if you could tap into all the data that you have in a company. But usually not every company or not every industry actually makes the most out of all the data that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, usually this is the process. Yeah, like you collect the data, you clean it, you mine the data, and you look for different like patterns. You build some understanding, which is basically called the EDA, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
exploratory, like you're exploring the data, exploratory data
Mm-hmm.
analysis, and then you take it from there into whatever kind of like analysis you want to do, whether it's the A/B testing that we talk about in the article or something more fancy like the advanced models like the ML algorithms and the other predictive advanced stuff.
Okay, very good. So we were also talking about the amount of or the time that you have been spending with business analytics, and for these 11 years of experience that you have developed and nurturing your knowledge in that discipline. So what is your most recent experience on applying this business analytics? So that experience where you feel you apply the volume of knowledge that you have been accumulating on the years.
Yeah, I would say my most recent is in the TV entertainment industry here in Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
where right now I'm working mostly on churn insights, so helping our different like internal business partners in order to understand how like customer behavior drives them either to churn more or churn less from our different products. And on the other side as well, understanding how our different products and sub-products are performing against either the legacy products that we had or
Mm-hmm.
against our competitors, against the market, or even against our forecast and the plans that we had, like that we build on a quarterly or yearly basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And based on that scenario that you are telling to us, so where is the experience deposited? So what the process and the results are based on this experience you have?
Yep. So uh, the results are all like they show on a daily basis actually because I always use my experience on a daily basis to um, meet our stakeholders and business partners requests.
Mm-hmm.
So basically all the projects that are related to the product that we own on the churn team in order like for example like the survival analysis or analysis related to us going into different markets or trying to balance between the mix of different segmentation of customers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is how it's translated and how it manifests in the business world, in a real business case.
Okay, and should I say that this experience has been focused on customer satisfaction or taking care of what the customer desires in order
Uh,
to get engaged with this TV industry or a certain company?
Yeah, part of it definitely is. It definitely revolves around the customers. Customer satisfaction is part of it. The customer behavior based on what we had already rolled out, or like the different like pricing and packaging that we have, is also another part of it. I would say customer satisfaction would tie a bit more to the A/B testing that I was doing in my previous role,
Mm-hmm.
because that was like, yeah, the in a subscription-based model, yeah, that would be a bit more focused on the customer side.
Okay, and let's say I'm trying to get most of the aviation um, industry, let's say, and I mean, customers are customers in the aviation
Yeah.
or in the TV industry or whatever, but the desires probably is different from one industry to another. But at the end of the day, the companies are trying to get the customer satisfied through the analysis of their wishes or their needs or whatever. So if we should be focused on this aviation industry based on the experience that you have, but mostly oriented to the airlines, what could be your comments in terms of applying this knowledge and experience that you already have in the TV industry and in the others, pharmaceutical probably too, to
Mhm.
the aviation? So what could be your say in this regard?
Yeah, well, again, the techniques are basically like the data analytics techniques are the same, and they can be applied. I'm not gonna say across the board for everything because it depends on the type of business. But for example, if you see a subcategory of the business or the industry in airlines that is that functions in a similar way to a subscription-based model in the
Mm-hmm.
TV entertainment industry, I would say you can still apply the same thing. So one thing that I talked about in the article is A/B testing. Um, in the entertainment industry, we use A/B testing in order to try to promote like more save rate or like improve our churn and retention. And I think this is a pretty good use case for the airline industry when it comes to any
Mm-hmm.
kind of their membership programs or any kind of their subscription-based programs.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that comes to my mind is something like um, I'm not sure if the name is exactly right, but like the Sky High program from Delta, for example, or the
Mm-hmm.
All You Can Fly programs from the different airline companies here in the US. I believe Frontier and Volaris, like they offer something like that, like an All You Can Fly for a year, where you subscribe for, I believe, $500 a year, and you can get like an All You Can Fly pass. So something like this, if you're subscribed in a model and then you subscribed for a certain period of time and you're rolling off this subscription, or you're like your subscription is coming to an end, it's going to expire by the end of the year, then there's a chance for an A/B test over there where you can split your customers into two groups, a test and a control group, and offer the control group, the test group, some extra incentive, maybe like a $10, $20 offer if they want to renew, and you keep the control group as is with your, we call it BAU, which is business as usual, which is how the business like usually runs. And then you
Mm-hmm.
compare the two and see if there's a statistical significance in the results of actually adding the $10, and if the results give you uh, like the outcome that you want with
Mm-hmm.
respect to retaining the customers.
So previously we also were talking about analytics to drive better experience. You remember that?
Yeah.
So in terms of how to drive a better experience using analytics, probably we can take some of the words or the phrases that you already said regarding the aviation or the airlines. But if you should summarize this better experience, and you seeing like a customer seated in an aircraft seat. How would you translate this driving better experience on the emphasis of your experience as subject matter expert of analytics?
Okay, let me make sure I understand the question first. So
Mm-hmm.
what you're asking me is how would analytics actually improve customer experience in aviation based on my
Let's put in that
experience, for
words.
example?
Yeah.
Yeah. So um, again, different kind of ways. One of them would be the A/B test that I talk about, because once, like me as a customer, if
Mm-hmm.
I have a specific membership with an airline and I get offered some sort of like incentive, monetary incentive in order
Okay. For instance.
to renew my membership, then this is for me, it's like I see the airline or the company that I'm dealing with as actually giving me any kind of offer. And this is what the customer cares about at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
this is what we learned from entertainment, you know. Customers eventually care about money. They care about saving money, you know. Like they they speak about a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, like the bottom line is the customer cares about like the actual monetary incentive that they're getting. So from an A/B testing perspective, once you give them this kind of like offer, uh, it's a big deal for a customer. The other things, there are many different things that we can do as well. Like we
Mm-hmm.
can optimize, for example, for the trip time, where you can run the fancy linear progression, linear programming models, and
Mm-hmm.
optimize for example, for the time of an like of a flight, and this would make the customers happy as well. And there are many different things that you could do.
Well, it seems like we can continue talking about this topic for all this day, and it seems to have enough material for another conversation with you. Well, so let's get to the final end of the conversation. If you should send a message to the air trade community about the importance of using business analytics on all the working environment the community is involved, what you could say to them? What could be the message?
Uh, it will be that uh, if you actually have data, right now, data is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And if you have data that you're not using, you're missing out on a lot. Like if you're not tapping into the potential of data and analytics, uh, then there's a lot that can be done there. I would urge you to start right now because, again, data can be used to look inwards inside the company and understand the internal business problems and
Mm-hmm.
how the performance is working, and look outwards in order to understand customers, their segmentation, even your competitors, the market trends, predict future trends. So, uh, I would urge everybody to actually start implementing some kind of data and analytics into their business right now if they're not using it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you very much for the message. Thank you very much for sending all this information to the community. So our trade community, we had Wael Breich here with us. Thank you very much, Wael, for sharing these thoughts and this knowledge with the community.
Thank you for having me. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
we are very welcome, and welcome to the Air Trade World family, Wael.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be
Okay,
here.
thank you very much. AirTrade community, thank you very much for taking care of this conversation with Wael. See you until the next conversation. Good afternoon.